What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I hope you like this video. This is your review for the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills season 12 episode 3. So we started this episode off. Crystal is having a little get together at her house for the ladies to come through, and everybody's there except for Sutton. So of course that's going to be the person that they decide to have a conversation about. And Kyle decides to share the conversation once again about Sutton and how she felt that Sutton was so insensitive to what Dorit was going through. And once again, she chooses to use that same soundbite of her saying, well, I'm sorry I didn't have a gun to my head. First of all, you're not giving the context. First of all, you're not, and y'all know Sutton get on my nerves sometimes, but when somebody is right, they're right, and when they're wrong, they're wrong. I'm going to be defending a lot of people in this episode that y'all probably wouldn't expect me to defend if you've been watching my reviews for a long time. But on this one, I'm going to have to go with Sutton. Sutton was, okay. To say that you felt like Sutton was being insensitive when you were talking about Dorit, that's fine. And you could just leave it there. But to take that soundbite because you want to prove your point and put an exclamation point on it to say, she was like, I mean, well, I'm sorry I didn't have a gun to my head. You're taking it out of context. Like, she said that after you were trying to admonish her about not having the right or the proper response about what was going on with Dorit, and she was like, what, Kyle? Well, I'm sorry I didn't have a gun to my head. That wasn't her initial reaction. But neither here nor there. Of course, now the ladies want to have a whole conversation about Sutton. And Garcelle, I'm going to give you credit. Garcelle said, whoa, wait a minute. She ain't here to defend herself. So I'd appreciate it if we could table this conversation until Sutton can address it and have the conversation for herself. Now, Garcelle, you're going to get on my nerves later on in this episode, but in that moment, I was with you, girl. You was right, and you did what you did. However, I'm really surprised that Erica didn't bring up the irony of saying, well, I recall last year y'all having a whole powwow that Sutton led about me. I don't remember nobody in that moment saying, maybe we should table this conversation until Erica can speak for herself. I don't remember that. I remember y'all having a whole ponderosa about it. But neither here nor there. I think eventually somebody did say that. But y'all had a whole conversation about that New York Times article or whatever the article was. LA Times, whatever. But Garcelle, you get credit for being friend of the year for that one. But later on, you're going to lose some points. But anyway, let's keep going. So then we see everybody getting ready to go down to La Quinta, the little spot where they were last year, because Kyle is opening up another store. Now, Kyle talked about the fact that she opened her stores before. They were doing really well. She ended up opening 4 or 5 stores, and then the retail market crashed on her, and she ended up having to close the stores. She said she, wanted to open up a brick and mortar, just one to kind of go along with her, her clothing line that we saw last year or the year before at New York Fashion Week, that she was debuting. And she's going to do it down in the desert because she said the real estate's not as expensive, and so, yada, yada, yada. Great. So all the ladies are coming down for the opening. Some are going to be staying at the house with Kyle, and some are going to be staying at the little resort where Erica and them stayed last year. It looks like Crystal, Sutton, and Diana are staying at the resort, and then everybody else is staying at the house with Kyle. Now, am I going to be the only one to say this? Is anybody else? I know my girl, Lil Baby, going to say this. So, once again, Erica, what you don't get to do is play with me. You don't get to play with my emotions. You don't get to play with my intelligence, okay? What we're not going to do is sit here while you're sitting here with 3 assistants. And then in the next breath talk about you don't have enough money to buy new clothes. So you recycling old clothes because normally you would sell your clothes and then buy new clothes. Girl, not with that closet we saw, not with all them racks and racks and racks of clothes. And I already told y'all last year that I don't believe for a minute that Erica Jane planned her escape from the big bad husband, and all she took was the clothes on her back. Girl, please. You had a whole U-Haul truck back up to that house, and you put everything that you could out of that house into that truck. I don't believe for a minute that you don't have all them items that you was talking about that we saw in that closet. Now, they might be in a storage unit in your cousin, uncle, sister, assistant's boyfriend's name. Now, I believe that. They ain't in Erica Jane's name, but I don't sit here and play with my intelligence like all you have are the clothes that you can fit in your little bungalow house. But I peeped that you got your little glam team there. Now, whether you just asked them to come and film to make it look like you had it going on, or whether they are really back on payroll, I got questions. Neither here nor there. Rolling right along. Kyle, you and these dogs. Listen, I'm going to go ahead and put this out there. Kyle took 2 of her big ass, hairy, furry dogs with her down to the house. Now, listen, I'm not mad about that. And I know people who are dog people are going to probably get in my comments. But here's my issue with it. I don't have no problem with you taking your dogs. I don't even have no problem with your dogs being around. What I do have a problem with is later on after you're opening, when you brought people back to the house to have food and cocktails and have like a little after party situation, put them dogs in one of them bedrooms or put them in the backyard. You got those dogs running around. And see, everybody, this is what I don't like about people with pets. Everybody don't think your pets are as cute as you think your pets are. Your pets running around while I'm trying to eat my food in my face, and then had the nerve to be taking food off of people's plate, and you thought that shit was funny. There's nothing funny about that. Talking about, so, oh, I'm sorry, my dogs are so unruly. Then you shouldn't have your dogs out while you were trying to entertain people. Now, it was one thing when people were just showing up to the house and everybody was coming in and all that. That's cool. But when you were having a party, because let me tell you something. Let that dog have taken that steak off my plate. And it wasn't even about the fact that I wanted the steak, because let's be clear, she had a bunch of steaks. That wasn't even the problem. The problem was the dog ate off my damn plate. And you thought it was funny. Anyway, that's just me. Let me get back to the story, child. So Dorit didn't come. Oh yeah, while they were sitting there, they also were talking about Dorit and how much she's going through. Kyle, again, why are you playing people voicemails of Dorit calling you clearly at a vulnerable moment? Dorit is all crying and nervous, talking about she took the Xanax and the Xanax didn't work. And you playing the voicemail for production. Girl, bye. You want to question people's friendship and question people's sensitivity. I don't think that was very sensitive of you to be playing people's voicemails, messages when they calling you at a vulnerable moment, and you talking about oh, I just feel so sorry for her. Well, I feel sorry for her now that the whole world got to hear her talking about taking the Xanax. What if she don't want everybody to know she out here taking Xanaxes and having panic attacks and stuff? But neither here nor there. Kyle had to drive down to the house by herself because Dorit had to come back later because she took the Xanax, and PK said she wasn't ready. She was not ready to film. That's really what that boiled down to. Child, she ain't ready to be on camera, okay? I'm going to let her get her life together, and then we're going to send her down there, okay? We're going to send the Uber down, okay? So, we get to the house, and they had gone to the store the day before. So Dorit is dressed in one of Kyle's outfits from her shop. And she, Garcelle said it's nice to see her actually caring about her. We know Dorit like to give us a glam look. Now listen, I give Dorit a hard time, but if Dorit don't know how to do nothing else, we know Dorit know how to give glam. Her and Erica Jane used to give it to each other, okay? They used to be like bam, bam, pow, pow, okay? And neither one of them are really giving it this season for obvious reasons. I ain't gonna go back down that yellow brick road. But she said, well, it's nice to see that, she's starting to kind of care a little bit. And girl, whatever, moving on. So everybody is getting themselves together and getting dressed for the opening. Now they give us this whole thing about Diana, because the whole thing about Diana is how rich she is. So they show us her assistants arriving early and setting her room up and unpacking and doing all these things. And Diana said, hey, whenever I'm going somewhere, I send my team ahead of time because they know how I like it. They do this, they do that. It sounds like she brings her own bedding, which, listen, let me tell you something. If I was rich, I don't have no problem with that. See, it's certain things that if I were rich and I was that kind of rich, I would do. I wouldn't have no problem if I could afford to have a team go ahead of me and set my room up the way I want it. Put my own sheets on there, okay? Because we already know the stories about what goes down on these hotel sheets. And I don't care if it's a 10-star hotel or the Red Roof Inn. No disrespect to the Red Roof Inn. But it goes down. So if I could bring my own sheets with my own thread count, with my Egyptian cotton or whatever we using that week, I understand that. But of course, we had to see Diana go through the whole sequence of what she does and just how rich she is. On their way down there, her and Crystal rode together on the way down there. And Crystal gonna have the nerve to ask that woman if she ever been to the outlet mall. Crystal, you know good and damn well Diana ass ain't been in no damn outlet mall down to the Palm Springs. That's where I would go. If I'm on vacation in Palm Springs, I'm going to the outlet, okay? She ain't going to the damn outlet. And then Crystal say, I don't pay full price for nothing. I go to the outlet for everything. I'm gonna put a 50-50 on that one. I'm gonna put a 50-50 on that one. Now, Crystal, I'm gonna give you credit in this episode, although it looks like you end up throwing Sutton under the bus next week. But in this week, I'm gonna go week by week. In this week, I'm gonna give you some credit right here. Because she pulled Sutton aside before they went to that party, and she said, girl, let me tell you something. Them Tricks was over my house the other day, and they was having a whole conversation about you and what you did or did not say about Dorit. So I just want to go ahead and give you the heads up, and I want to let you know that, you know, Kyle told Dorit this, and this, and that, and that. Now, I'm going to give you credit for that one, Crystal, because Garcelle, as much as you was defending Sutton, that was your conversation. You was supposed to text her, call her, send a smoke message or something, and you may have, because we didn't see it on camera, but I'm going to give Crystal credit for that, because Sutton walked into that party already knowing what it was. And Sutton took her happy ass right on up to Dorit and did her Sutton apology, because we already know Sutton's apologies be real special. But she went right up to Dorit and apologized. And she said, listen, let me explain something to all of y'all. Okay? I have my own trauma as it relates to people breaking in my house and putting guns and so forth and so on. Did y'all not forget what my daddy did with a gun? I have my own trauma, so maybe I don't always respond the way people expect me to respond or want me to respond. But when I get nervous and I start feeling a little anxious, I say dumb stuff out my mouth. And listen, I think that's probably the most honest thing Sutton ass has said. You know why? Because Sutton, that's exactly what you do. You say dumb stuff out your mouth all the time. But I feel like there's a self-awareness there with her to say, listen, I know that when I feel a certain way, it just come out. And it's not always the most sensitive way in which it comes out. And I can respect that she is self-aware. Now, let me say this about Miss Diana. Diana, this is what you cannot do, okay? Last week, you gave us this whole sob story about you were an immigrant and you escaped and you were, you was a maid and you was scripting and scraping for however many years until you met your husband and struck it rich, and now you live in the lifestyles of the rich and famous. So this is what I'm going to say to you, okay? This is what I'm getting ready to say to you. If you came on this show as an heiress that has always had money your whole life, then some of the shit you be saying I would let you have. But what you're not getting ready to do is tell me last week that you was an immigrant and you escaped war and you didn't have a penny to your name and you was out here, you was doing whatever you had to do to make money. I noticed how you was real blurry about what you had to do, but I'm going to let you have that. The rumors are out there about certain things that you was doing, but I'm not going to say that they're true. But what I am going to say is, don't sit here and play with me talking about something. I've never been to a store opening before. I don't even know what to do. Bitch, you been in a store. You know how to shop. Just because you are at a point in your life now where designers just send you clothes and you tell them what you like, what you don't like, and you send the rest back, I ain't even begrudging you that, because, baby, I would love to be in that space in my life. I'm not begrudging you that. But don't sit here and act like you ain't never had the experience of walking in a store. Just like when Crystal asked you about going to them damn outlets. Girl, now I don't know if they have outlets over in the UK, because when I went to the UK, I didn't see no outlets. Okay, but you've been in a store before, okay? You've been in a store before. You have gone shopping. You have had to buy off the rack. Stop playing with us. Don't give me the sob story one week and then you turn around and you too rich and famous the next week. I'm not playing that game with y'all this year. And y'all like to kiss Diana's ass. Erica is fawning over her, begging her to buy her a Cartier ring. Crystal talking about oh, I forgot my American Express card. You can just use yours. Listen, she didn't come on this show to become y'all personal savior and y'all bank account. Okay? I ain't nobody playing them games with y'all. Crystal, your husband is money on top of money on top of money. If you don't pull that damn Amex out and stop playing with us, girl, I know you got Apple Pay on your phone. You better just click. Put that phone up to that scanner and let them charge that card. Girl, ain't nobody playing with you. So, Sutton apologized to Dorit. Dorit accepts her apology. And in my mind, that should have been the end of the damn conversation. Oh, but no. They want to add to it, and Kyle standing right there, and Garcelle standing right there. So here's where my problem is with you, Garcelle. You were standing right there when Sutton apologized and Dorit accepted it. In my mind, it's over. I mean, I know we filming a reality show, so you got to bring us some drama. But that's where this whole conversation should have been over. The person who that was offended accepted, and the person who did the offending apologized. It's over. And Sutton let Kyle know how she felt by telling Kyle that she stabbed her in the back. Kyle talking about something. No, I can say everything about you that I could say to you. Girl, whatever. Anyway, Kyle did her little speech. She opened up her little store. It looks cute. The clothes look real cute. Whatever. Very upscale loungewear is what it looked like to me. Very flowy stuff. Very comfortable looking things that you can dress up or dress down. That's what it looks like to me. Go for it, Kyle. I don't think you probably carry my size, but it's all good. I'm good. So we go back to Kyle's house for the after party. I had already told y'all how they got them damn dogs running around. So the ladies come in, they get their food, and you know, they get to sit down and talk. And here go that damn Garcelle. Well, now that Sutton's here, ladies, let's have the conversation. Again, it's dead. There's no conversation to be had at this point because Sutton didn't apologize for what she said. But here we go again. We just started this whole conversation up, and Kyle is talking about how she felt it was insensitive and this and this and that. So now Sutton got to apologize to the whole group and tell the whole group why she said what she said and why the talk about guns makes her nervous. So then here go Diana putting her 2 cents that ain't nobody damn asked for, talking about, well, I find Sutton to be awkward and inappropriate and just bumble and say things out her mouth that, you know, is just inappropriate. Girl, you've been around Sutton twice. She's talking about something, I know I don't know her that well. You absolutely do not. Now, granted, your summation was pretty on point. But you do not know her. Nobody asked you. Who asked you for that? So then Erica, that was all she needed. She puts her 2 cents in about how inappropriate Sutton is and how all roads lead back to Sutton. You had a problem with me last year. You had a problem with Dorit. You had a problem with Crystal. All roads lead to you, Sutton. Don't you see the problem? Don't you see the problem? And she said, so you don't feel no kind of way about what you said about what you did to me? Sutton was like, nope. Listen, Erica, you might want to leave Sutton alone. That's the second time you tried to come for Sutton and Sutton shut you down with one word. She was like, I don't. So then Sutton gonna say, do you feel bad about how you treated me? She's like, I sure don't, bitch. And she called her a bitch. See, that's where that escalation come from, Erica. All Sutton said was no. Ain't nobody asked you to be calling names, and now all of a sudden she a bitch. So Crystal says this whole conversation is triggering me because they were trying to get Sutton. Kyle and them were browbeating Sutton into feeling differently about the Dorit thing. And I told y'all last week why she don't feel no kind of way about the Dorit thing. Because she don't believe it. And she don't like Dorit. That's really what it is now. Sutton, you don't know me and you ain't got to confirm or deny. But that's my opinion. Is that one, she don't like Dorit that much, so she really don't care. And two, I don't think she believed Dorit's story. Or at least she feel like it's that whole story, something ain't being told. So she don't have a whole lot of sympathy. That's my opinion. That is my opinion. So Crystal was like, I'm feeling triggered by this whole... First of all, can we take triggered out of our vocabulary? But neither here nor there. She said, because last year when I tried to tell y'all how I felt, y'all told me my feelings weren't valid. Now that it's Dorit and Sutton is trying to explain to you how she feels, y'all are telling her that she has to accept and she has to feel a certain kind of way. And so Kyle was like, girl, what you talking about? We talked, like last year, that was about a coat. You were mad because of you overreacted. She said, see, that's what I'm talking about. Y'all kept trying to get me to change my language and change how I felt. And in the moment, that is how I felt. You were invalidating my feelings by telling me that I was using the wrong language, I was using the wrong words, and that what I felt, I didn't feel. I felt violated. And y'all was telling me, well, no, you just feel like she was being rude. No, I didn't feel like she was being rude. I felt violated, and y'all would not validate my feelings. Everybody in here told me that my feelings were wrong. But now, that is Dorit, and Sutton is trying to tell you how she felt. Y'all are trying to make her accept that she should feel differently. She was like, I'm feeling triggered by the whole situation. Cal was like, you comparing apples to oranges. But listen, let me say this. And this is coming from somebody that did exactly what Crystal said, because I said the same thing. Y'all can go back and look at my reviews. I said the same thing last year about it. I said, Crystal, you're doing too much. The word you use is too strong, da-da-da-da-da. But her point was valid. Now that I think about it in retrospect, I understand what she's saying. Now, they didn't want to understand what she was saying because, of course, they didn't want to accept that she was making any sort of a point. But her point was valid. Sutton done told you how she felt. Now, y'all sitting here telling her that's not good enough. She apologized for not giving y'all the reaction that y'all felt like she should have given. But how she feel is how she feel. You can't tell that woman to feel no kind of way. You gonna make her feel bad for Dorit, and she don't. Just like with Crystal, it's telling y'all I feel violated, and y'all gonna tell me I don't. So now they trying to tell Crystal she doing too much and she overreacting, and Kyle is getting mad. She's like, what are you talking about? It's apple to oranges. You're overreacting. You da-da-da-da-da. Now, Crystal did get very upset. I feel like it's deeper than what Crystal was giving us, because she got very upset. She was crying. She said, I no longer feel safe. I got to go. This is not a safe space for me. I got to get out of here. And she was very upset. And Diana was like, well, I'm her bodyguard, so if she leave, I leave. And Sutton was like, well, hell, I'm staying at the damn hotel with them, so if we leave, I leave. So they in the car. Crystal is still very upset, trying to explain why she is so upset. And they're back at the house trying to figure out what the hell went wrong and how did we get here, a la Deborah Cox. But basically it boils down to, and Erica said this, which I thought was interesting. Erica was like, just let people feel how they feel. Let people stand in their feelings and let people express their feelings the way they need to express their feelings. We can't tell nobody how to feel. We can't tell nobody that they feel good, bad, or indifferent. Child, and that was the episode. So y'all let me know what y'all think. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.